Hey everybody, Aussie Viking here for another video. People seem to like this, so I figured I'll do it. Now, I'm playing Revenge of the Sith on the original Xbox. I will probably do other games and other Xbox games and other Star Wars games when I get them, but so far we're going to do the main three that I love. Episode 3, Revenge of the Sith. Not only is it one of the best Star Wars films, up there with Empire, I think, it's just one of the best games I've played. This was my first ever game I got on the original Xbox when it first came out all those years ago. And, it was fantastic. It was my first Star Wars game I got on my Xbox and my first ever game I got ever. So let's play. Oh, did I get to Udapau? Interesting. I don't remember getting up to Udapau. Oh no, wait, no, I did. Yeah, I did. Hang on, yeah. Because I played this to 100% completion when I first got it. We'll skip these if we can. I played this when I first got it, and I had 100% everything. Every character unlocked, everything done, everything up to full, all the collectibles. I'm betting if I was to plug this into my original Xbox, it would just come up with all that, which would be cool, but, oh. So, things to talk about. Well, there's that somewhat stupid rumor, I really hope it's not true, about Disney wanting EA to give up their licensing for Star Wars. And, I disagree 100%. I absolutely disagree. And I disagree because, well, first up, yeah, EA screwed up quite a bit with the first Battlefront and somewhat with the second one, but it was only really the microtransactions. Things like free DLC really were the right way to go. So, I'm alright with all of that, but the one thing that annoys me is, let's put it this way, if we were to get rid of EA and DICE and give it to, say, Ubisoft or Activision, well, first up, Activision is a no-go. They'd be stupid to put it to Activision because Activision is worse than EA in most of the time. At least I think they're worse. Just EA. I mean, Activision is just terrible at times. Although they do some good things with their games, like in Call of Duty, they actually give you like bots to play with and stuff, and they're actually quite good. So it might be okay, but I don't think it'd be worth having. And then you've got Ubisoft. Ubisoft would be good for an open world. If they went to Ubisoft and said, look, we want you to make an open world Star Wars game, I would be all for it. I'd be like, yes, 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 yes. Let them do it. Get the team that made Origins and just do it. Just please do it. But here's the thing. I don't want it to happen because, well, first up, Battlefront 2 isn't finished yet. If they did this and Battlefront 2 was 100% complete, I would be fine with that. Because, you know, Battlefront 2 is actually getting better. And I think by the end of its life cycle, I've been saying since day one, end of its life cycle, as soon as they announced free DLC, I said, as soon as the game finishes its life cycle, it's going to be one of the best games ever made. Now, how do I take these things down? There we go. And I think it will be. I really think it will be. Oh god, I remember these. Because it is a well-made game. Like, the gameplay is fun, the levels are big and varied, and all you need to do is really add more maps, more heroes, more Clone Wars, and more AI offline options, and you've got a good idea of what's going on. But that could just be me. A lot of people just seem to hate EA straight away, and here's the thing. If EA goes and says, look, the microtransactions coming back will be customizable, that's all they need to do, because that's the best way to do it. Customization. Customized, sorry about that. Customized, god, I keep repeating myself. Microtransactions is perfectly fine, because you don't need to buy them. They don't change the gameplay at all, and they're really, like, I'm not gonna lie, if we get, how do I get to there? Hang on, I go further. Yeah, if we get, yeah, little secret, I knew it. If we get, I've lost my train of thought now, trying to get that secret. Oh, well, it probably wasn't it was important, wasn't it? Yeah, I'm sorry. I haven't had much coffee today. I really should have had more coffee before I started making this. Actually, remember there was one where you destroy these things. What was I talking about? I know when I edit this, I'll be like, I can't believe I forgot what I was talking about, and then it's like, oh, wait, yeah, I did. That's what I was talking about. Too bad you can't move it like you can in Force Unleashed. That would have been pretty good. So, what was I talking about? God damn it. I hate it when that happens. It's like you've got something and it's like, oh, that's what it is, and it's like, nah. Customization, DLC. So customization works because you don't have to. It doesn't change gameplay. It's not going to be crazy, and to be truthful, it's the best way to do microtransactions. Because I'm not going to lie, if they release costumes and stuff, and a fair bit of them, I'm going to buy them. I don't care what you say. I'm going to buy those microtransactions. Now, if it was just normal microtransactions, then no, it was stupid. But I don't think they will, because EA knows that they need to learn from their bullshit. And I think they will. They absolutely will, because why... Well, first of all, if they weren't going to learn from what they're doing, they wouldn't say to DICE, look, you need to change the progression system. They wouldn't have gotten rid of microtransactions and then said they'll come back at a later time when we can do them properly. They wouldn't have. And we know how stupid people are. They're going to be like, oh, no, you can't do this, you can't do that, what is wrong with you? You can't bring it back. And it's like, it's fine if it's in... It is fine. I mean, look at Overwatch. They had microtransactions in terms of cosmetics, and everybody loves it. It's fine. Because that's the way to do it. That's how you should do it. But, you know, people aren't the smartest tools in the shed when it comes to a variety of things, unfortunately. Which I guess makes sense because people are dumb. Let's be honest here. People are dumb. People jump to conclusions in the dumbest reasons. It's like, look, I know that you've got to be cautious of certain things, but let's be honest here. As soon as they said free DLC, I didn't care. Because free DLC means, for Battlefront 2, means it's free. I don't need to pay anything extra. The only thing that I want to pay is cosmetic microtransactions, and that's it. I don't have to go out and buy the map packs. I don't have to do this. I don't have to do that. And they've shown that Season 1 was pretty good. And if Season 2 is any better, then give me. That's what I want. Oh well. It's just people being people and overreacting as they do, because why not? Why not overreact? But on the losing the license, no, I don't think they should lose the license. I think that's a stupid idea because they can do better. We know they want to do better. DICE have said they want to do better. Even EA's been like, yeah, we can do better. We've made a mistake. We got to learn from it. That's it. Don't just take it away because they made a mistake. And don't get me wrong, it was some corporate higher up that's like, we want money. I get it. But when you get but the great thing is about the fussle with Battlefront 2 is now loot boxes like that are being looked at, which is great. I'm all for that. Look at the bullshit that loot boxes give that are done like that. If it's done like cosmetics, then it's fine. If it's not done like cosmetics, then we've got a problem. But now the gaming industry is learning, and even people are learning. Now they know not to have microtransactions like that. Now the community knows, you know, the gaming world knows. We don't want to do a kerfuffle like that. We don't want to do anything like that, which is great, and I absolutely love it. And to be truthful, as long as Star Wars Battlefront 2 doesn't suffer for it, I'm happy. Because I do love Battlefront 2. It's a very fun, a well-made game. That all it needs is time to get better. And since all the things that needs to get better is free, I'm all fine with that. I'm absolutely fine with that. These guys are hard. It has been a while since I played this game. So, I don't agree with people saying that they've screwed up, because, yeah, they've done some stupid things, but EA has to learn. And I'm sure something as big as this, they're going to learn. Like, there's no way in hell they're going to be like, oh shit, we've kind of made a big splash in the community and the gaming industry because of what we've done. Because how bad we fucked up. What are we going to do? Well, we're going to have to change. We have to look at this and go, look, we gotta fail and do better. Of course, I'm sure that there's some people that when they first said, look, we need microtransactions and stuff, they thought, no, that's a bad idea. But of course, that's the thing people don't understand. If a higher up says, nope, I want it in there, you kind of got to do it. And if a whole lot of higher ups agree that that's how it should be done, then that's how it's going to be done. It isn't people like that. Higher ups don't really care until there's backlash. If there's backlash, or if what they want has happened before and there was a massive backlash, then they probably won't do it. But that's not how the industry works. People need to be like, look, this makes us money. We'll do it until it makes us money. We'll keep doing this thing until it makes us money, until people say no. And that's it. That's how it goes. That's how it works. That's how higher ups go. DICE, I think, were mixed. I think people at DICE were probably mixed and went, look, we can't have that. But in a way, if it So they can't have it, but in a way it makes sense because they needed it. Because in a way they did need it. Oh, full speed. And by that I mean they needed it because they needed to have the DLC, the free DLC, to be, well, making money. Somehow it needed to make money. Which is fair enough. I understand that. And to be truthful, having DLC like that, that's free to be done by some sort of microtransactions, it makes sense. But it makes more sense if it was, like I said, customizable. Customization, I don't even know if that's a word. So, there is that. But giving it to another company so soon, I don't think so. Plus, EA will probably, well, Disney will probably give EA more money, most of their money back, considering. I would imagine. Because they paid for the deal, so it's like, unless they've made that money back with the sales for Battlefront 1 and 2, they're probably going to be like, well, we're going to need some more, we're going to need some money back, because if we're not going to make any more money off this, we kind of fucked up, didn't we? But then again, it would be a learning curve. But I don't want it to happen because, well, if it happens within like a year or two, then okay, by then Battlefront 2 would be fully finished and probably a complete game more so, and it would be worth having for everyone. So I would be fine with that. But realistically, it might not. But then again, this could be a stupid-ass, nonsensical rumour, because from what I remember looking up, the rumour was from a guy that said, the context of all this is from people that I completely, utterly respect and trust, and it's like, that's it. That was the moral of it all. I got this information from people that I trust, and it's like, that is not a good way to say that you've got... If he said, I have an insider, it'd be more credible, but then again, internet, nothing's really credible anymore. And I don't think Disney would want to do that, because if they were going to shut down, let's be honest here, if they were going to shut down the licensing from EA, they would have done it after the cabustle, the bullshit that the loot crates did. So, yeah, I don't know, I don't believe it, but if there is any chance of it happening, I don't want it to happen, I think is the best way. So, yeah, like... Not the biggest fan of that rumor. I don't think it should happen. I don't think they should lose what they've got, because it does seem pretty idiotic. Why lose? Why? You don't need to lose it. They screwed up, yeah. But let's not take it away. Let's see what they do with it. If by the end of the year they've somehow made Star Wars Battlefront 2 worse, then yeah, maybe get rid of it. But they're not. I know they're not. They're gonna make it really good. They really are, and I'm really excited for it, because I'm not going to lie, I'm a big, spider bots. We need these in the Battlefront 2 as well. But I cannot wait to see what... I'm actually excited to see what Star Wars games they're going to bring out. And don't get me wrong, getting rid of the Star Wars game that was cancelled recently was a dumb idea, I think. I think what they should have done is give it more time. Be like, look, we need more time with this, and that would make sense. Although, to be truthful, I was playing Shadow of War, and I thought to myself, this would be an open-world Star Wars game with crazy-ass powers and stuff would be fun. Let's be honest here. An open-world Star Wars game is what the world would love. And I kind of get them saying that. I mean, I hate when EA say that nobody likes single-player games. That's bullshit. But open-world single-player games, I think, open-world single-player games done right is exactly what the industry needs in certain game types. So let's be honest here, an open world Star Wars game, people have been asking for that since like KOTOR 1. And I don't think, unless you count like certain MMOs and stuff, we haven't really gotten an open world Star Wars game. And to be truthful, an open world Star Wars game would be freaking amazing. Imagine it, you could go to other planets, you know, it could follow, I'd say follow the Witcher 3 kerfuffle, but like the Witcher 3 style of learning, of creating an open world by being like each region is its own open world map. Just do that with planets in Star Wars. Easy. 3 or 4 planets, new planets added on later on in DLC, and you've got yourself a fantastic game. Have it that you can start off and play, have it that you could like fly a ship around, have it that you could have, I mean, most people want to be a Jedi. You'd want to keep the idea of a Jedi in there, but you could have it that you could be some sort of bounty hunter or anything like that. So the idea of an open world game is great, but to delete an already established game because of that, I think is a bit stupid. Yeah, I think that is absolutely stupid. So, I mean, that could just be me. But, yeah, so to me, that's the thing that people need to... That's the thing that EA needs to work on, because I'm fine with linear story-driven games like Last of Us and Uncharted, and I'd be fine with that in Star Wars. But they would probably make a lot more money if they make an open world Star Wars game, but it needs to be good. You need to have 4 years development time. You need a very big company that's ready to make it. You need people that look at games like Shadow of War, The Witcher 3, Dragon Age, all these great RPG slash open world games, GTA, add certain elements like that in, and you could have a winning game that's a 10 out of 10. But you need to put the effort in, and this is the downside of EA. They haven't really shown that. Like, look at the Battlefront games. Battlefront 2015 should have had an extra year of development time. Battlefront 2017 should have had an extra year of development time. Because we've seen what happens when an extra year of content comes in. It gets a lot better. And to be truthful, if look at the Ultimate Edition of 2015, if that was what came out day one, and, more offline modes and stuff, then that would have been it. That would have been fantastic. That would have been exactly what people wanted in the game. But it's not. That's not what we got. But if that, with an extra development time, and that would have been what we would have gotten, and that would have been more praised. It would have been praised for more maps, it would have been praised for more offline options, it would have been praised for everything. And even if it didn't have a campaign, it still would have been better received than it was back then. Then look at 2017. That extra year, well, obviously it hasn't been a year since it's been released, but if we ever do get a yearly thing where it's like, okay, this was released in a year, so basically by the end of this year, if the free DLC keeps going and stuff, you can say, and I'm sure of it, like, it would be a far better game. Like, all the patches they've released so far has already made it a better game. Already made it a far superior game, and that's only from, like, what, 3-4 patches? So already it's a better game, and it's like, if this is where it was on release day, it would have been well received, more so. And I think that's the one thing that EA has problems with, is they're releasing... they're not giving much time. They're releasing it too fast, and that's the downside. They're not giving developers more time to work on their masterpieces, and that is biting them in the ass, unfortunately. Which is dumb. I think that's unfortunate and dumb, because I really do like Battlefront. I like Battlefront 1. I like Battlefront 2, and honestly, if Battlefront 1 had more offline options with the DLC and stuff, I would have been a lot more happy. And vice versa with well, with Battlefront 2, all it needs really is bigger maps offline, more offline options, and more customization, and basically more Clone Wars. More maps, more heroes, And if they give us that, it's already going to be a better game. And this is when I keep saying it's free DLC, so anybody complaining that things like Anakin and stuff aren't in there, I would say you haven't really got much of a... I mean, you can complain they're not in their day one, but they could come in DLC, and it being free, it's kind of fine. However, if by the end of its life cycle they haven't got them in there, then yeah, I would complain like a little bitch. I definitely would. Because don't get me wrong, when Battlefront 2 finishes completely, I'm going to die here, aren't I? I'm going to definitely do a let's look at the game. Because, I mean, I've been someone who plays it by day one. So as soon as they release, look, we're going to give no more patches, I'll look at the game and be like, how much better has it been? And I know it's going to be better. Because it's already better from like 4 patches. So, I'm totally fine with that. Absolutely. Oh man, Revenge of the Sith is so good. I don't understand why there are people out there that have it and got it on their top 10 Star Wars lists ever. It's amazing. Like, you can hate it all you want, like the Star Wars prequels, because, people and Star Wars fans. But don't. Like, this game is great. This movie is great. You're really harkening yourself with the OT trilogy there. And to be truthful, as much as I like the OT trilogy, it's got problems. And I know I say this probably every stream and stuff, like every time I do a video like this, but it's true. Like, the Star Wars original trilogy Star Wars were not perfect. You watch you watch episode 1, you watch episode 4 and 6. I think they're the biggest problem ones, because acting wise and writing wise, it's not the best. Empire is the one that's the most straightforward and the most what's the word? It's the most straightforward and the most one that actually kind of works in terms of acting and dialogue. Even though sometimes it's a bit like, well, like Han at the start's kind of a bit like a whiny little bitch when he's talking to Leia. Because let's be honest here, if you watch episode 4, she berates both Luke and Han. So her just going towards Han and stuff is kind of a bit weird because she didn't show any interest in him. Of course, that's a lot of people like, oh, but that's how it goes. You know, people that don't show interest in you, and it's like, okay, fair enough. The bad boy sort of thing, a bit cliche if you think about it, but all right. But she never did. She never cared. She never went like, oh, Han, you're my guy, or she gave him an extra look. If you look at the end of the first, film, episode 4. She gives Luke a smile when he smiles at her, and then when Han smiles straight at her, she gives him nothing. And then it's like 2 seconds later, or 5-10 seconds later, it ends with Chewie going, "Urgh." Like that's it. That's absolutely it. And it's like, well, she never really gave him much time, and I know the time skip helps deal with those like problems, and I liked it. I time skips are very well done. I think that's a great way to enhance a character over time and years and stuff, even though they never really specified it was years at all, from what I remember in Empire Strikes Back, but still. And it was interesting how they did it, but Han is just a whiny little bitch at the start of the scene. He's a great whiny little bitch, but he's a whiny little bitch because you have feelings for me. And he's like, well, maybe I'll go kiss a Wookiee. And it's like, you're a good asset to the team and you're being a child because this woman may or may not love you. Like, really? I don't know, that's childish, let's be honest here. People can complain about Anakin being childish, but that's fucking childish, man. But Han Solo gets away with it for some reason. And it's like, why? But he's Han Solo. So, I love Han Solo, he's a bloody boss, and he should not have died in episode 7, but even then I can stay still as a bit of a bitch in Empire Strikes Back, at least at the start. Still a great character though, I love him, I do love him. A great actor, great character, but let's be honest here. Was a bit of a bitch. And even dialogue-wise, it's like, I know nostalgia is a strong thing, and I keep saying that. Nostalgia is the strongest thing you could ever have, and people are blinded by it, and everyone's going to be like, oh, but it was the original trilogy, it's fine, and stuff like that. But even the sequel trilogy's got the same problems, bad acting and dialogue in both episode 7 and 8. So, but for some reason, the prequels get shat upon even more so, even though they work better. I'm sure there's somebody watching this that's like, you're wrong, how can you be wrong? Mate, you can say I'm wrong all you want. I don't care. Well, let's put it this way, I've wanted to be, and I'm not trying to boast my own horn, I fucking hate that sort of shit, but I've wanted to be a filmmaker since I was 8 years old. I've studied filmmaking since I was probably 10. I've got an advanced diploma in filmmaking. I've been on sets, I know how to write a script, I know how to tell stories, I've understood how to tell stories via sound and visuals more so than anyone else. So don't come to me and say I'm an idiot because I like the prequels when I've got more facts of understanding filmmaking and how to tell a story than you ever will. And although even then, even if you understand filmmaking, there are people out there that complain. So, like, look how George Lucas tells a story. He can tell a story where you've really got to delve deep. But he also tells a story in terms of how you've got to do it in... What's the best way to describe it? Look at episode 3. You know that scene when Mace Windu goes to arrest the Chancellor, and there's that scene with the beautiful music, the beautiful colours, the beautiful landscape of Anakin looking out on the Jedi Temple and Padme looking out of her window? That's powerful. That's how you tell a story. Tell a story via shots and piecing things together more so than everything else. It's perfect. It's absolutely perfect. Can I save this? I don't know. It's that's how you tell a story. You've got to make people go. You've really got to make people understand and go, wow. So that you got to make them piece it together. It's what a lot of filmmakers do. Not all of them, of course, but a lot of people and a lot of filmmakers go and do that, and it's perfect. It's hard to do, though. It's really hard to be able to have a scene with no dialogue and able to tell what the person's and character's feeling and bring it together and enhance it with, say, music and visuals. It's hard. Not impossible, but it's hard. And George Lucas is one of those directors that can do it. He can. He absolutely can. And it's fantastic. And that's why I love the prequels more so, because he was able to, because he directed all the prequels, he was able to do that more so in the prequels than he was in the original trilogy, because he only directed one film. And, you know, everybody keeps learning. Don't get me wrong, things could have been better. Absolutely. But I could say that about the original trilogy and definitely the sequel trilogy. I mean, say what you want about the prequel trilogy, but I definitely agree that the sequel trilogy... that definitely could have been improved on 100%. Episode 7, I mean, we all know that. Every time I talk about Star Wars, I'm going to mention that, because individually, Star Wars isn't perfect. As a whole, I think it is. As a whole, I think it's perfect, as like one of the most perfect things ever. But individually, it's not. It's not that good. You know, episode 4 individually isn't that good until you see episode 5, and then episode 6. And episode 1 isn't that good until you see episode 2 and 3, and it all comes together. And then when you watch episode 1 to 7 or 1 to 6 at least, it comes together fantastically. Because that's how George Lucas is doing storytelling. I'm gonna die again, aren't I? Heal. That's how he does storytelling. He does it in a way that's different, and it is different. But that's filmmaking in general. Filmmaking is different. No, no, no. Filmmaking is telling a story that is different. Did I die? I died, didn't I? Damn it! I gotta stop dying. God damn it. If I die again, I'll probably go to... that's what I hate about the save system. You kind of got to get through it. Day one sort of thing. We'll do one more try and then we'll... Actually, you know what? I'm going to go and do some fighting. Because I love the fight. I love how this game literally has like a fighting... It's like a fighting game as well. And the multiplayer. It's freaking great. But that's filmmaking. Every filmmaker is different. But there's always a different way to tell a story. And people are like, oh, but things like storytelling and writing a movie and stuff. That's writing. Writing and directing and bringing that script to life is completely different. Why? Because a director can say... So you've got a big, heavy scene, dialogue-driven scene. A director can look at that and go, you know what? I can do this whole entire scene with no dialogue. And they can. They can do entire scenes with no dialogue, just sound and just slowly moving it up. Great people that do this. Kubrick, George Lucas, and... what's his name? David Lynch. Watch their stuff, and they do it really well. They can really bring out a scene with no dialogue whatsoever. More so David Lynch, I think. I think David Lynch is one of the best in terms of how he does that. Which, you know, happens. And I understand that. Let's do the balcony. But that's the thing. Not many people like to delve into it. I know a lot of people don't want to delve into certain things, and they want to have that straight up, like, oh, that's what I feel and stuff. You can't beat me. And I understand that. I used to be that way, but then I thought, well, it's kind of boring, isn't it? This fighting system's really well done. Oh god, he's got lightning. Do I have lightning? This ends now. Quit trying to kill me. I'm trying to see if I got lightning. No, he's a Jedi here. It's kind of the same way when people go, like, they give up on something. You know, something's different, something's strange and not what they want. They'll give up on it without trying to just look at it and go, well, you know what, that's interesting. And I definitely find that weird. Every time I see someone that gives up on something stupid, like, oh, I gave up because I had to work an extra hour on something. And I'm like, really? That's the dumbest excuse ever. Or, oh, I gave up because... it was different. It was a different thing. I'm getting screwed over, man. Oh. Like, I personally don't understand how people can just give up like that. I can understand giving up. People give up a lot. That's life. You give up on things, but like, but to give up like that, I don't know. It's just to give up so easily. It's strange to me. Absolutely strange to me. But that's people, and people either make sense or they don't. So you got to deal with it. You know what's funny? You look at fighting games with Star Wars, and this is actually like, I love how they had such a great fighting mode, even though I'm not that good at it. In just an ordinary like Star Wars game is insane. Like, and then you look at games like the Taramasu or whatever, the PlayStation fighting game. It's like, this is better, and this is just an afterthought in the game. That's brilliant. If this was a fighting game that came out and had obviously more characters and more levels and stuff, it would be well received. Like, this would be a well received fighting game. And for some people, it's a better fighting system than, say, Jedi Academy and Jedi Outcast, which I can see because I do like those games. Oh, we got stabbed. So yeah. Oh. Let's try... How long will it? 3 minutes. Okay, 3 minutes. We'll do one more thing for this part. This is probably going to be part 1, although when I do part 2, I'm going to do it differently and change a few things up. Is it co-op? No. Cruiser corridors. We'll do that. What's breathing? because I want to get past a few more levels before I start up. And I like to play as Anakin because Chosen One and stuff, which we need to bring Anakin into the games more so. Absolutely, I love Anakin. He's my favorite character. He's probably the most in-depth character in all of Star Wars, to be truthful. And here's the thing. Just because they're whiny does not make them a bad character. Look at Kylo. He's whiny as shit. But he's a great character. The same goes for Anakin. They're emotionally unstable people that have so much on their plate, but instead of being respected, they get used. And that's the point. That's the depth there. People don't like it because, like I said in some of my other videos, they don't like it because it's not what they expected. And okay, I can understand that. But again, why... how do you know that the story that you expected would have been better than the story that was told? I mean, if you're very simple-minded and just want your story to be told to be how it is, of course you're going to think it's the better story. But is it really? Is it really? Oh, but a lot of people on the internet agree. It's the internet. We live in a world of billions of people. Don't use that as an excuse. And by the way, let's put it this way. Those that have a bigger voice are always the ones that hate something. Those that have negativity towards something always have the bigger voice. Why? Because people that like stuff usually don't give a shit. And people that hate stuff, they will tell you they hate something. You know, when you meet someone that hates something, you'll know. So the whole, oh, the internet says this. Who cares? The internet's full of fuckwits anyway. I know, I'm one of them. God damn it, Droidicas. Oh yeah, I remember to get rid of a Droidicus, you can use your force on them, which is quite nice. Ship Federation droids. Oh man, I really hope they bring these two into Star Wars Battlefront 2. Hopefully they're on the good side, at least Anakin, and obviously Obi-Wan would be, but hopefully Anakin is as well, because 90% of the time Anakin was a good guy. It wasn't until like the last half an hour of Revenge of the Sith that he's actually Vader, so, you know. Plus, Anakin's moveset would not work with Vader, so that makes sense too. Oh well, we have to wait and see. God damn it. I used to be really good at this game. Like, I used to be able to go in and play the highest difficulty and beat everyone. But then again, as a kid, you kind of like, and having like 100 hours in the game, I played it way too much as a kid. It was a great game. I wish that episode 2 got a game like this. Although I know they got a few games, and I want to get the Clone Wars one because that looks really fun. The Clone Wars version, the one where you're in like vehicles all the time, that looks extremely fun. So hopefully I can get that one day when it's on sale, or just whenever somebody has it for a good price. Right now, unfortunately, people are selling it for like $30+, which sucks. I want to get more Star Wars memorabilia. It's funny, like, I've been a Star Wars fan for so long, now I've been buying their memorabilia because I really like, there's some good memorabilia out there. Unfortunately, the bigger one, the really good stuff is sold by the big ones, like Hot Toys and stuff. And, unfortunately, there's not much Clone Wars stuff, which is bullshit. Absolute bullshit. Because the prequels were great. Absolutely. So I'll finish this level and then I'll give up and go to part 2 hopefully later. Maybe today, maybe tomorrow, it really depends. It'll take a while. If I have to get through that part with Grievous and stuff.
More spare parts.
But this is a great fighting system and a great game. There's so many games out there that should be remastered or remade, and this is like a lot of the Star Wars games should be. Like, and I'm not just talking about the Xbox and Clone Wars era stuff. I'm thinking like super Star Wars, you know, in a trilogy released on every platform, because I would love to play it on my SNES. I'm thinking on my NES, like my not NES, fuck what it's called, the 3D, not 3D, my portable Game Boy. That's not a portable Game Boy. It's the 3DS. That's it. No, 2DS XL. But yeah, I'd love to play on that, or like Shadows of the Empire. That'd be freaking great to play again. I love Shadows of the Empire, but to set up an N64 to play it, racing, god damn it, the racing that they had would be fun as shit. And there was a lot of great Star Wars games on like the N64 and stuff that I really wanted to play, and unfortunately I never got the chance to, because I didn't have an N64 at the time. And when we got a PlayStation, I didn't have any. I don't think I only had Demolition. I had Demolition, and I actually enjoyed that game. That was a fun game, a weird game when you think about it, but it was a fun weird game. So I had no problems with it at all. Plus, you could drive around like, what was it like? Was it? Could you drive a? You could drive a Rancor. I'm pretty certain. You could ride the Rancor from episode Return of the Jedi, and it's like, okay, I'm up with this. I'm okay with this. Yeah, I remember that. Yeah, you could. I think I still got it too, but I don't know where my PlayStation is. So, because I wasn't really the biggest PlayStation fan. I like PlayStation, but at the time, I never got to play the big games because they cost too much money in Australia. And at the time, being a little kid, you couldn't have it. I love playing Crash Bandicoot and Spyro. Holy shit, yeah. And if they're going to remake Spyro, I'm getting Spyro like a motherfucker. It's fucking Spyro is the shit. Man, I 100%ed episode 2. What was it? Not Gateway to Glimmer. Was it Gateway to Glimmer? Yeah. I literally 100%ed that, and I got the... Because when you 100% the game, you get the ability to get the... What's it called? You know, the very powerful power-up, the breath that, like, one-shots everyone. You could unlock that. I'm gonna die here. You could unlock that, and it's like, hell yeah. And I would play through the whole game and beat every single boss in like 2 hits because of it. And it was the best. It was the best.
Can I take this one?
Oh man, so many great childhood memories there. And you know what? Playing these games again, I understand why people play it. You know, when you see videos of people on YouTube from like in their 30s and they still play games from like 1988 and stuff like that. I understand it because going back and playing games from my childhood is perfect. It's great. I have a great day of, nostalgia, which is a strong thing. I've got nostalgia feels great, and just going, oh man, I remember that. Memories and stuff. It works. It's fantastic. I love it. Absolutely love it. I think that's the end of the level. Yay. So, that is it. My next Let's Talk on, well, EA and everything else. I got 94. I got really fair. That's all the fairs, really? Well, I know there was a way to unlock, was it in single player? Bonus missions, yeah, but you don't unlock bonus missions yet, so. Yeah, that is Aussie Viking. I shall see you on Valhalla. Bye.